Okay. Looks like we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. I am feeling much better. Thank you for everyone who was concerned. I had some manner of awful stomach bug over the weekend. Potentially from actual bug disease thing, or potentially just ate too much while dehydrated sort of thing. Either way, it was horrendous, it was unpleasant, and it was in the past, so thankfully I'm feeling much better. So another announcement as well. I'll mention this a few times, of course, again, because I won't be able to resist. This looks like it will be the last stream, or maybe second to last, we'll see. Close to the last stream with my good old faithful chair. Thanks to the incredible generosity of a viewer who shall remain anonymous unless they wish not to. This is getting a replacement as of soon. It's on the way. I finally went with the whole gamer chair thing, so we'll see how that turns out. I will greatly miss a wonderful old chair. I might even do something silly like a video tribute to the thing. Don't know. See, I kind of want to. I do absolutely love this chair, but as you can hear, it is not exactly very conducive to things like streaming, especially in its current state. It has strings sticking out of it. It is old, worn down. So it is at the end of its obscenely long life. And it's probably gotten more use in the last few years for me than it has for in a very, very long time sitting in an office at USF. Philosophy Department. Hello, Panzer Commandant. How's it going? Dara Panzer Commandant. Welcome. Welcome. In any case, I will greatly miss my chair, but I am looking forward to something a bit more modern from the current century. So we'll see. Now, as for where we left off in Dragon Age Origins, we just defeated the giant ghosty electric dragon with the help of our new companion, Justice, who is a spirit from the Fade inhabiting a former Grey Warden. So I guess that technically counts as a Grey Warden. It's not clear what the rules are for the Grey Wardens and who counts. But I'm going to say he counts. Want him to. Thanks, Panzer Commandant. It's going well. I'm as I was mentioning, I was not feeling super well over this weekend, so we missed Monday's Nier Automata stream. We will be back this coming Monday to continue streaming Nier Automata as well. So, if you're enjoying this, if you've been enjoying that series, it is coming back, not to worry. We are going to be continuing forward there. Now, I, as I said, have been feeling much better. Let's go back to Vigil's Keep and check in on things. I am close enough to 100%. If anything, every once in a while I've been going a little bit easy on what I've been eating. That's all. Since then, more or less better. So a few things that we're going to wind up having to check out as we move. Right.
Mother? It comes with sweet news, I hope. Tell the mother.
The first, it is dead. The Grey Wardens are gone from the marsh.
Wicked wardens. They killed the first. Killed him. Cut out the mother's heart.
Howdy, Kevin.
Was it not
Welcome.
the mother who wished him dead?
Dead? No. Peace. again to hear the sweet call. We are all lost, but the day will come when the silence ends. Even
Haven't you, spider uterus? Yeah. If you didn't see the main series, if you're not familiar with the main game, that is how Darkspawn reproduce. It's horrific.
You arrived. Things are getting out of hand.
They can't normally
My son
talk.
is starving. Open the granaries. Bloody feed your people.
Oh boy.
I fear this must be the work of the conspiracy against you and the Wardens. If the common folk just rose up on their own, I'll eat my boot. Maybe you can say a few words, calm them down, make them see reason.
Barrel, you don't coddle a revolt, you put it down. Just give me the order.
Before I make this decision, Enzo Commandant says, I'm assuming you're a philosopher or something like that. Yes, I'm a professor of philosophy, adjunct professor of philosophy. I specialize particularly in scholastic philosophy, in other words, of medieval Christendom, particularly in metaethics, which is sort of where metaphysics, the nature of reality, and ethics intersect. So it's the idea of what grounds ethical principles and what is good, that sort of thing. More broadly speaking, I talk about all sorts of things. Mostly philosophically connected. So I talk about lots of metaphysics. I talk about lots of theology, lots of philosophy of religion. I talk about lots of ethics, like this, and even where that intersects with political philosophy, things like that. And then I will also, given that I'm playing a video game, I also talk about pop culture, media, whatever kind of springs to mind. So that's kind of the idea of what I'm doing on this part of the channel. If you actually go to my uploads rather than my live streams, you'll find more academically leaning content. Most of that stuff is either class lectures or supplementary lectures, stuff that is teaching some philosophical topic in some usually in a relatively creative or unorthodox way. I started sort of doing this because I had the YouTube channel that I was just putting out class material stuff, and then about a year ago, stuff happened that people were bored in their homes and such. So I figured I would just sort of do this once or twice a week, and it became a thing, and developed a little bit of an audience and a great community. Kevin's one of our regulars, so cheers. Yeah. And it's been a good time. I enjoy doing this quite a bit. It's also decent enough practice for teaching, given that one of the most difficult parts about teaching, especially at the university level, as something like a lecturer or leading classroom discussions and such, is one, being able to talk for hours on end. My typical class is, between 1 and 2 hours, but I have taught classes that were upwards of 5 hours long. And so being able to chat about an idea as I'm interacting with the chat and interacting with the game and all that, it's really there's a lot of overlap in the skill set with what I need to do in the classroom. So I enjoy doing this because it is using a lot of the same skills that I use professionally, and talking about a lot of the same things I talk about professionally, but in a radically different context, in a much more laid-back manner. I typically don't wear a bow tie when I'm doing this, as opposed to when I'm in the classroom. It says we have a great time, fantastic discussions. Thank you. Francis Commandant says, "Damn, that's pretty impressive. Thank you even more. That's good to hear. I will try not to let it go to my head, but who knows." All right, so let's see. We are facing a peasant revolt. of course, because there are darkspawn that are destroying people's homes and crops and lands, of course. But also, almost certainly because we have conspirators against us in the court. Bringing the hammer down on the peasants is not going to help with the conspiracy one bit. It's probably going to make things worse. So let's rule that out. So that leaves intimidation. No, because that's just threatening peasants. We could gently disperse them. It does, again, in this case, seem to be mostly a matter of, again, a rebellion stoked by upset nobility, loyal to the former Arl in this case. Again, if you're familiar with the story, if you haven't been following along, this is the Arling of Amaranthine, formerly the domain of one of the secondary villains in the main story. This is late coming DLC content. And so when we took over, there were some upset people, which is naturally, again, historically, and Panzer Commandant, you'll know some of this stuff, right? Knowing military history, as you say, right? Especially throughout the medieval period, this is how a lot of peasant revolts began. It was when it was typically, or very often, a tool used by certain nobles to shift power away from other nobles. Not even necessarily towards themselves. It didn't have to be. If you destabilize the person that you are, that is attempting to undermine you, it can just be somebody out of the way, in a way that you don't have to expend any resources, in a way that you don't have to put any risk down, which is smart. I mean, it's politically, it's admirable for its intelligence. However, of course, like most, many if not most, I should say, political disputes between nations or between nations and such, it's even more underhanded and duplicitous than sending proper militaries. Because again, even if you send a proper military, it's typically a dispute between leaders, and this is where we run into issues like the utilization of civilians for one's own ends, and then in turn, the targeting of civilians that leads to all the more unjust wars. So, I think our only option is to try and rally the common folk towards our cause. Again, my only consideration there, the only issue there, of course, is what that will ultimately cost in the long run. And says, what you really need is a controlled existential threat to distract the peasants and unite them in common cause. If only there were some existential threat to threaten these peasants and unite them in common cause. That was a joke, in case it wasn't clear. There are the Darkspawn that are literally causing all of these problems. The issue is, of course, that when you do that, that can, if it is an existential threat, like the Darkspawn invading, right? The apparently now talking Darkspawn invading, which are much more organized than they would be any time other than a Blight, which we just took care of in the main game. If that is the case, then we have this issue that yes, it can help to unite everyone, and that's the tract that Dalen, our main character, is going to try and take with choice one. I am going to, but in a moment. The trouble, though, is that it is a real existential threat, and if you manufacture false existential threat, that brings up problems of the internal social divisions, that can and does cause. I mean, if we look at the last year or so, we have a real threat that I can't say manufactured, or I can't say false existential threat, right? Because the thing that happened recently, it's a real threat, but it's not existential. So the fact that it is played, or was, especially early on, played as an existential threat, that led far more so to social division than it did to any kind of unity and moving forward together, which we obviously see in the social consequences in our real world. And of course, the real existential threat of Darkspawn, in this case. Ooh, look what's happening. I mean, this is, again, as our Seneschal said, it's not exactly organic, this revolt, this unrest. But it is a relatively natural consequence to your lands and your food and your families being systematically destroyed by roving bands of monsters. One says maybe if you stand there long enough, they'll get tired and just go home. They do seem to be getting quieter, I guess. Now more than ever, we must stand together.
We will not be.
Let the commander speak.
But we must
wow.
eat.
Quiet!
Surprised. No. Let's not just pay them off. Let's give them empty platitudes, as any good lordly politician should. I mean, yes, we're going to provide for our people in a sense, but that sense is getting to the bottom of what the hell is causing all these Darkspawn to be a roving band of destruction, and stop that. Giving them grain out of the storehouses is not a real solution. So I will provide for my people, trust me.
Don't believe the commander's empty words. If we get to the granaries, we can feed our families.
You don't always know.
Oh, great. Okay, well, that's not great. Sorry, guys. You forget, I am a mage. Sorry, peasants. Der Commandant says, sure this has nothing to do with philosophy or anything, but today I just bought an original pair of M43 field blues. I didn't know what they were selling for only $50. Wow, nice.
A mage sign around my neck. I like to make it easy for the Templars.
Peasant uprisings, they never end well.
There had to be another way.
You know as well as I that if you give in to the mob, you're ruled by the mob.
You're right, Caravel. Before this mess began, some nobles were awaiting an audience with you. I'll be in the keep.
Oh, good. Maybe we can execute one or two of them.
So that's how it's going to be.
Listen. They literally attacked. So again, this is this is the role problem, right? So you have a bunch of lightly armed or barely armed peasants. Erica says the fact that those peasants didn't instantly die from the first spell. That's troubling. Yeah, they were frozen solid and didn't instantly die from a Cone of Cold spell from a 300,000th level mage. I forget what level I even am. What level am I? $28. Okay. I don't know if there's a cap in this game, by the way. Anyway. In any case, right, that it becomes this kind of a problem when the mob attacks a very heavily armed resistance, an obviously very heavily armed resistance. That becomes the big problem. That I want a tactics slot. I don't actually use them. Die a lot, though. And says, I love a good purging of the nobles. Oh,
Yes, Commander?
yeah, same. Can you make anything with this ancient dragon bone?
Where did you find this? I could make a blade. A
Good to
blade
clean his pants.
unparalleled. Oh my, oh my. Where's that list? Quick, gather these things. Hurry. There's history to make here.
Set in. Let's see.
Van Esmeralda, the commander. What was this urgent matter?
I am here about the good Arl. The good Arl you killed.
You're still loyal to Arl Howe?
Brendan was good to us. Good to me. And now his death will finally be avenged.
Okay. Up. Get with you later. Did that not work? Okay. Everybody go kill that guy.
First a riot, now this. Blast it. Beryl's been hit. It looks glancing. He'll live.
He just went through his arms, no big deal. And a steel plate gauntlet. And hell of a crossbow. Kevin says, woo! Kill them all, take their estates. Purging commenced, as Erica added. Ah, yes. This is the perfect way that to deal with. Honestly, I'm barely joking here. This is just the perfect way for nobles to settle their disputes. Stop involving peasant hordes that are just going to get themselves killed against our magic and swords and such. Just come in and try and assassinate us, and then get yourselves killed, and the problem solves itself one way or another. Erica says, yeah, if they wanted to do it proper, they would have had everyone attack at once. No one would stand in front of them and tell them that they were now ambushing them. We will now ambush you because you have been mean to us, unlike the previous guy who was, let's be honest, a much bigger a-hole, so to speak. Yeah, Arl Howe. That's the guy voiced by Tim Curry, if you don't remember. He was awful. Incredibly. Alright. See that he does. He may have saved my life.
I'll have the herbalist attend to him immediately. Andraste's
His sword hand
blood,
down.
that's Ban Esmeralda.
She and her traitorous brood tried to kill me.
She was a fool to attack you.
That's
I'll have
correct.
trusted men clean this up. We can keep this quiet for a while. There's enough cause for panic already, Commander.
Sneak attack! It's the Sokka school of stealth. Oof. Jeez. It's crow assassin stuff. See if that's actually good for Daniel. I don't think it's better than what he has, though. No, no, he still has some better. The Battle Dress Tours, still better. Oh my dear. Oh. That's his standard look, too. Maybe I should keep that. He doesn't use much blood magic, but... Yeah, let's go with that. Keep that. Alright. Wait, I can't access my chest. Oh. Prince Commandant says, plus, what was the point to ambushing you, hiding behind a support? Yeah, that... Practically speaking, it should have just been the Crow Assassin.
Going.
And it also should have been alone. And it also should have been not surrounded by, you know, my crew here. Let's actually go into the to the hall, put things away and stuff, sell things.
Where is he? I know he's here. Cough him up, Warden.
Here we go again. I don't know who you're talking about.
You're not gonna pull the moss over my eyes. Ogren, get your hairy ass down here.
Hang on to your beard, woman. Is this a conjugal visit? Looking for Ogren to grease the old wheel?
Don't lay a finger on me. You've done a lot of stupid things on a whim, but joining the Wardens...
Didn't you say it would be hot?
We were role-playing.
I don't need to be a part of this.
Look, I didn't sign up on a whim, alright? You kicked me out.
You were just looking for an excuse.
You kept trying to make me into something I'm not. I can't play house like you want me to. I'm only good at one thing, Fells, and it's killing.
Still not my business.
You had a good thing in the army. They respected you.
Felsie, I finally got the old conquer on straight, and I don't belong anywhere but here.
Fine, Ogren, if that's what you want. The baby and I will just have to get by without you.
Aren't you going after her?
I just end up being hit. She's a tiny thing, but packs a surprising wallop. And in this mood, she'd go straight for my danglers. Come on, there's Darkspawn waiting to be killed.
You were wearing heavy plate mail. I'm sure it would be fine. Yeah. Cringe. That was... Alvard's sword. There's chosen. Hunted. First, let me go through and just make sure everybody... Well, the Lamented. Nah, Skull Crusher's better. Sell that or put it away, whichever. Oh god, that's insane. Alright. Large sword. Resistance, chance to ignite, lots of attack, a little bit of fire damage. Let's go with that one. Well, he's not. If I need to switch. Okay. 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 Ravager. Sword might actually be better. Nah, he's good for Darkspawn, so that's fine. Let's leave it there. But Lana, Spellminder might be good. Some spell power. Yeah, that's actually better. And also, it's less, you know. Anyway, Ranger Commandant says an ambush any building isn't a good idea, especially more firearms advance. After one guy shoots, everyone shoots. Then you get court-martial for shooting guy. It's a dumb idea. I mean, even under these circumstances, with well-developed crossbows plus magic, an ambush in such close quarters is you're right, incredibly unwise. Incredibly unwise. No, it's good. Okay. Nature. She uses that bunch. She doesn't use spirit damage stuff, so not so much. Alright, that's everybody. Sell some things.
May I be of service? Certainly.
Let's keep it away. Nope. Yeah, I don't need that. Backstab damage for warriors. Seems like a waste. Okay. Cool. Any of this crap? Is any of this crap? Good. I really should use these traps more. Really don't. Panzer Commandant this is talking about his area of expertise, mostly military history. I don't know anything about ancient or medieval. Ancient and medieval tends to be more my area. I know a bit about 19th and 20th century. The weakest period for history for me is really the sort of early modern period. So the sort of what are often called sort of the wars of religion, so the 100 Years' War, 30 Years' War, through that sort of period. The 19th, 20th century stuff I know some about because, you know, everyone learns it in school, and I learned it a little bit beyond that. I did major in history as an undergrad as well. So I know enough about that. More than your sort of average layman, but certainly less than a specialist. But yeah, like I said, my expertise is far more in as far as history goes, in ancient and modern. Or sorry, ancient and medieval.
This is a chest of
more than modern.
belongings once owned by the man whose body I now inhabit. His essence lingers upon these objects like dust.
You can feel it?
I can even hear it whispering his name into the ether. In the Fade, nothing outlives the spirit that created it. Here, everything does. This world has fingerprints on top of fingerprints. Witness to beings long dead.
You tell anything from these fingerprints?
How does one describe a sensation? I have no words for it. The man who owned these things was a Grey Warden like yourself, yes? We intend to avenge him?
The Darkspawn who killed him is dead.
And yet it had masters that set it to the task. They are not dead, surely.
You want vengeance?
He was wronged.
I inhabit his body. I have an obligation.
All right. If we can't avenge him, we will.
Good. These Darkspawn are a cancer within the heart of this world. But there is nothing that can be done just yet, is there? A world so full of beauty that beauty goes overlooked. I must see it with different eyes.
Like that. World so filled with beauty that the beauty goes overlooked. I like that. I very much like that. I've talked about this before in different contexts as well. That I really like the. I really think that it's important to look at things and appreciate things that sort of disappear, right? That disappear into our experience, right? Take any given thing right next to you, right? So I took a sip out of my coffee cup a moment ago. This is a for a lot of reasons. First of all, coffee. The coffee that's inside this. This coffee in particular, I have no idea where it's from. I had to guess. I would say Central or South America. I don't know this roast in particular, where this is sourced from. But it's also hazelnut flavor. It grows in New England. Almost exclusively. And so we have already ingredients in this, in just what's in here, that come from vastly different parts of the world. And then, the actual thing itself. This is actually a fairly sophisticated piece of technology, right? This is a double-layered, insulated, hot drink vessel with a little, see that? There's a little sealing thing on the top, sealant thingy. It has a partially screw-off sealing lid, right? That delicious coffee in there, which is just freshly made. That keeps a beverage incredibly hot. It's got its, and I made this again from an AeroPress. If you don't have an AeroPress, you should, especially if your coffee snob. It's delightful. Spencer Commandant is asking for a philosophy of coffee video. Not a bad idea. There's a lot to be said about things like coffee, in a lot of different contexts. But what I'm getting at here, right, is that we don't notice the incredible things that have to come together for the things that we pay very little attention to on the day-to-day to actually occur and to actually contribute to our lives, right? The coffee cup, right? This simple little plastic thing with the simple, dark hot liquid inside is a small little joy. It's nice, it's pleasant, but it's seldom truly and fully appreciated the extent to which that little thing requires a worldwide network of people cooperating and working together for it. This is the same insight that an economist named Leonard Reed noticed with in his essay called I, Pencil. He noticed this incredible network of things that need to come together for even something as simple as a simple number 2 pencil, that no one in the world knows how to manufacture, knows how to make a number 2 pencil. No one in the world knows how to make this cup of coffee, right? And by that, I mean the coffee inside, the beans it was from, the cup itself, and all of its components. This requires millions, maybe billions of people. It's not just in the present, but like we were just hearing Justice talk about, stretching into the past to be able to do. And I think that, first of all, obviously, you can't go through life recognizing every damn thing that you encounter in this way. It's basically impossible, right? Because if I move slightly to the right, I also have a glass of wine, and I can do exactly the same thing. Notice about this, right? And that to do so, you'd freeze, you'd stop. But to pause for a moment and maybe that, right, the getting trapped in this sort of thing is maybe what Justice is talking about. That, having to see it through different eyes and be able to overlook beauty and wonder in things from time to time when it would be inexpedient to take the time. But I think that if you never notice that sort of thing, you're missing the world. You're living in the world, but you're not noticing the world. And that might be sort of typical. And this is getting kind of sort of Heideggerian, right? Martin Heidegger noticed that we are called human beings, what he said, the untranslatable German word Dasein, which, if you translate it anyway, means being there, right? Our being is our there-ness, our presenthood, our being present in a situation. We don't notice things as things. We notice things in our use of them, in our interaction with them. We don't typically separate ourselves from things. And if we do, typically he would say that this is in a moment of anxiety. And then he gives an offhand comment, like one line in a book that is like this thick, all about anxiety. He gives like one line, is like, well, also in moments of pure joy, but that almost never happens, so we don't need to think about it being a typical interwar German. But I think that in moments of joy, we can notice the profound and incredible things about the things around us in the world, and that noticing such things, voluntarily, intentionally, can be a source of that kind of joy, which maybe Heidegger was onto something, that is quite a thing. And maybe it shouldn't be quite so rare. It's too much of a good thing can desensitize us and make it common. Yeah, but a lot of us don't even recognize it the first time, right? Even the first time you encounter something new and interesting, it's new and interesting. It's not miraculous like it kind of really is. Like, I bought this cup at some point, and I greatly appreciated this thing. Don't get me wrong, I really, really greatly appreciated this thing. I had to search very hard for a cup of this sort, right? As a replacement for another one that I thought I had lost but later found. Long story. It was a really dumb story. Long-time viewers will know this really dumb story, because this was maybe a year or so ago. But I was very, very joyful that I found this cup in particular when I was able to buy it, but not for the reasons I've just outlined. It's because I was looking for a cup with these qualities, and wow, look, I found them. Cool, great. That's different. It's very, very different from appreciating the incredible novelty and the incredible wonder of a thing that a thing can be. That's different. All right, so let's see what else Justice has to say, since that was quite the tangent spurned by just that little bit. I'll see if I can. I'll put a link in the description after the stream to Leonard Reed's essay "I Pencil." If you haven't read it, I very, very highly recommend it. I'll see if I can find something about Heidegger and Dasein that's succinct enough. There's very little about Heidegger that's succinct, though, so we'll see. We'll see what I can find.
This world is nothing like I thought it would be. The demons lust to cross the veil, but the rest of us scoff. We pity mortals, we do not envy them.
Barely know anything about it.
Indeed. You are correct. We are wrong about this world. There is beauty here, and the mortals, they are worth saving. You helped me in the Fade, and have proven yourself since. It is not right to judge all mortals the same.
It's a comment on, or it says, or philosophy of Der Panzerkampfwagen 4, which I probably couldn't pick out of a lineup. I think I know the one you're referring. Panzerkampfwagen 4. Is that the vehicle pulled artillery piece that I'm thinking of, or is it something else? Again, like I said, I did mention, I gave you the warning, my knowledge of 20th century history is there, but not super in depth, not specialist level. Are you saying we're friends now? That is an interesting thing with a spirit of the Fade.
A friend? That is an interesting concept. I do not know how to respond to that. I wonder, may I make a request? There is something in this world you call lyrium. Might you find me an object made from it?
Huh. Something to mention here, right? So spirits of the Fade in Dragon Age and the mythology are embodiments of well, I mean, properly speaking, philosophically speaking, they are something like Platonic relations. They're Platonic attributes. There are things like virtues, like justice. There are things like vices, like pride, the two spirits that we encountered last week. That sort of thing. Oh, it's a medium tank. Oh, is what? I was thinking something completely different, though. So it being this kind of creature already, the kind of creature which represents a relationship between beings and their actions, and also beings and their forms and the good. Being this kind of substance is, in general, on sort of the Platonic scale, this intermediary stage between forms proper and particular finite beings. That the idea of them having relationships with anything, with anyone, especially with anyone, is incredibly odd, and only in this case could even make sense, being embodied in this way. Embodied in this unnatural way, I should add. This actually comes up again in a slightly different way in Inquisition in the third game. Solus, one of the companion characters, spends time in the Fade as a mage, and is, as he sees it, friends with a lot of spirits, which is a bit strange given what we know of spirits. But again, we may have to reconsider what and how spirits are between now and then. There are certain things here and there which might be something like discontinuities in the lore. It's either that, or perhaps there are different things that are all called spirits, if you will, like that as well. It's hard to say. Spirits get far more, it seems to me at least, spirits and demons for that matter, get far more concretized by the time the series goes on, especially once it gets to Inquisition. They become much more like concrete particular things rather than sort of impersonal forces, attributes, traits, relationships, and things like that. Okay, so Panzer Commandant, it has a 12-cylinder engine, and I think developed in the late 1930s. That's the Panzerkampfwagen 4. So you want something made of lyrium, and of course, lyrium, again, lore-wise, if you're not super familiar, lyrium is the source of magic. Mages use lyrium to sort of fuel their spells, if you will. And also, lyrium is a sort of bridge, if you will, between the real world and the Fade. As I understand it, lyrium exists both in the real world and in the Fade. I think we're probably going to hear about some of that, so I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But that, again, makes some sense here. But it is dangerous, as we'll say.
Not to a body that is already dead, surely. I desire only the smallest bit of pure rock. The version of lyrium that mortals dream of in the Fade, it is not the same. Here it sings. The sound is something only a spirit could hear, but it summons an ache I didn't know I had.
Sings. Now that's a connection to Inquisition that we'll have to remember. That lyrium sings, at least to spirits. There's a moment, if you've played Inquisition, if not, we'll see. If you have, then you might know what I'm talking about. There is an area in Inquisition where there is a great deal of raw lyrium. There's the slight sing. There's a song to it. It's gorgeous. Ooh, okay. So, sir, Answer Commandant says, a philosophy of the Third Reich or the Soviet Union would be a really interesting video, or maybe even the French Empire. I do not know enough about the French Empire, sadly. However, I have done some reading, at least, on the sort of totalitarian regimes of the 20th century. So the Third Reich, the Soviet Union, and some of the others. Mao Zedong's China, Khmer Rouge, things like that. And their similarities and differences and such. And even the Kim regime in North Korea. There are a lot of things to be said there. So social theory and political philosophy is not my specific focus. So I'm not sure what I would. So let me put it this way as well: a broad philosophy of, something like that, would probably be far too much to cover in one video, especially of the length that I tend to do, which is almost universally less than an hour if it's going to be. It's not going to be a classroom lecture. But there are certainly certain things to examine. In especially commonalities between totalitarian regimes that would be worth considering, particularly in terms of social theory and cohesion, units of society, that sort of thing, as well as ethical cases and things like that. I have talked a little bit about some typical ethical cases that come out of things like the Third Reich and things like that, as any ethicist will, because it's a spectacular mine of case studies, if nothing else. Certainly something to learn from. As for the social theory, though, that gets behind all of it, and also things like the actual concrete motivation of the regimes and the rulers, that's something that I've only really taken the time to examine in lecture or in video or whatever, as part of something else. I haven't actually taken the time to go into it in much detail. There are some subjects, though, within there that I think I would want to take the time to do. I think perhaps there's one issue in the Soviet Union in the particular the techniques that were used for the suppression of dissent and things like that, that I think is quite relevant to our current time and to some of my other interests, which has to do with social trust, right? So there was a lot of throughout the Soviet Union, particularly, if I remember correctly, during and shortly after Stalin's reign, there's a great deal of encouragement for people to report on fellow citizens, and what this did was, rather than simply making agents of the state out of people, which it did, and it was a means of increasing security and such. It also destabilized relationships of social trust, which is something that is spectacularly easy to do by that technique. I mean, this is a brilliant technique, even despite it being evil. It's a brilliant technique in that by encouraging the reporting of one's fellow citizens, or one's fellow whatever, pick your social relationship. What happens there is that you invite a kind of uncertainty as to who can be trusted and to what extent and about what. And we see this, frankly, in the last year or so with the Karen phenomenon, right? Because quite frankly, in some parts of the U.S. and thankfully not where I am, I'm in Florida, which has mostly been free of a lot of this, but in other places, like even right relatively nearby, right in Canada, this is actually quite common where people will very, very often report on friends and neighbors and even family for things like having people over, having too many people in their house, or whatever. Pick your arbitrary violation of policy, right? And what this does is it prevents people from establishing solid relationships of social trust. And I think that, and especially combine this with the legally mandated inability to see one another's faces on a regular basis. And what you have is a perfect formula for the destabilization of society and social trust. I couldn't have designed it better if I'd tried. So that's something that we should have, and some people obviously did, learn from the history of the Soviet Union, that has me a little concerned about our present society. So Kevin, talking about his expertise, so to speak. Kevin says, I'm just a regular dude with general curiosity. Suppose if I had something close to expertise, it would be survivalism, hunting, fishing, foraging, etc. Generally, I don't have a specialization. Academics are usually the weirdos with over specializations. I'll see what I can do justice.
That is most kind.
Most people are not as wildly over specialized as we strange academics tend to be. In fact, the higher up and higher up you go in academia, the more wildly over specialized you wind up getting. I began introducing myself when we started the stream, right, talking about my area of specialization, which is scholastic metaethics. If I want to be even more precise, it's about the connection between transcendental being and goodness, which is the sort of the subject of my dissertation, which is currently in progress, writing it. But that is the nichest of niche topics, and it's not even the most niche topic that you'll find that an academic will specialize in. Some people, I have a colleague who specializes in the, I want to get this right, I believe it's the metaphysical thought of William of Aumont, who I had never heard of, who you have probably never heard of. He was a contemporary of René Descartes, and I know very little about him, and what I know I've learned from this colleague of mine, and so this is just again, and he has an academic career and an academic job specialized in that guy, this small name guy, who again, from what I've heard, has good insights and such, but no one outside of that specialization, put it this way. The goal of every academic, particularly every PhD, is to know more about one very specific topic than anyone else in the world. The easiest way of doing that is to find a topic that no one knows much about. And it's not just that that's the easiest way of doing it, right? But that's kind of the only way of doing it. If I wanted to be, you know, the one person in the world who knew more about philosophy generally than anyone else in the world, I'd be shit out of luck. There's no way that's possible. But if I want to talk very specifically about the development and importance of transcendental being and goodness for metaethics in the scholastic period of medieval Christendom, I can do that. I can count on one hand, and I've spoken with personally the people who know almost anything about that subject. So, go. All right, let's see what Nathaniel's up to.
I owe you an apology.
Nathaniel Howe, by the way, Arl Howe's son, who is, at this point, seeking a bit of redemption. Any specific reason in mind?
When I returned from the Free Marches, I was certain my family was destroyed for being on the wrong side of the war. But my father did it to himself. No conspiracies, just one stupid, selfish man. I should have known better.
How could you have known?
I should have dug deeper before I acted. I was an idiot, and like a child I blamed you and the Wardens. And here you've even proven to be a friend of sorts. Or am I reading that wrong too?
No, I'd like to be friends.
Good. You know, when you conscripted me, I would not have thought I'd end up liking it. Anyway, let's be on our way. I don't want to take up more of your time.
Right. Cool. Okay. Onward to the next adventure. Justice, Anders, Nathaniel?
Yes.
Who do we bring, Anders or Valena? I've asked this again. The same question as last time. We brought Anders last time. We'll bring Valena this time. Any objections? I know, unfortunately, we're not going to bring... Actually, wait. All right, let's bring... Yeah, let's bring... Yeah, let's bring Valena for now. We're gonna do some side quests in Amaranthine. Then we're gonna switch some people out because I want to bring Ogren for when we go down into the deep roots. What's this?
Kristoff. Oh, thank the Maker.
I look right.
I fear you are mistaken, mortal.
Kristoff? Why are you... What has happened?
You're Kristoff's wife? This is awkward.
I am his wife.
Your husband is gone, and I inhabit this body now. His death will be avenged, I assure you.
Avenged? You've desecrated his body, how dare you?
It was not intentional. There was...
Get away from me!
This body has memories of this woman. Aura is her name. I did not know she would come.
Poor women, it must be a shock to learn this.
I must rectify this somehow. Intentionally or not, I have done this woman a great disservice.
Where would you even look for her?
My memories suggest her home is in Amaranthine. It will prey on me if we do not seek her out. There must be something that could be done to assuage her pain. Something.
I'll see what I can do.
The Darkspawn call our attention, but should we get the chance to seek her out, I would be grateful.
Kevin says, I'm pretty good at eating donuts. When I see a donut, I can tell with great precision that it's going to be delicious. I'm currently befuddled as to how one might regulate quantity consumed, though. See, I kind of thought that you were at least halfway decent at regulating your donut consumption. We're gonna go there. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's go here first. Then to Amaranthine. Then back, then to... Sounds good. Dalish.
Andera and Atishan travelers. Do not be startled. We only wish to be about our way.
Marin?
Valana! Well, well, this is certainly a surprise. You traveling with...
Humans, yes. Believe me, the irony does not escape me, clanmate.
We are no longer your clan, Valana.
What's he talking about?
Valana was exiled. She does not have a clan. We...
Stop. I do not wish to speak of this. Marin, the others who left with me, they are dead. And Serani is gone. Taken by the Darkspawn.
And infected by them.
Ilshay warned her not to go with you, Valana. You see what you brought on her?
Then tell Ilshay that she was right. Oh, I can see her, smug.
Ilshay has passed on. You know nothing but hatred. The clan is better off without your poison.
It's not true. Loves her sister.
A human is willing to defend you? This speaks volumes, Valana. Ah, we've lingered too long. Andrul guide your path, Valana.
Do not make a fuss over me. Let us be on our way.
Okay. Oh, we've already taken care of this. Okay. No, we've already taken care of this. Okay. Let's, Ooh. Panzer Commandant asks, what's your favorite type of alcohol? Probably Scotch whiskey. However... I also have a good variety of things that I do like under different circumstances. I really like really a fan of generally dark alcohol type things. So I red wine over white typically, that sort of thing. Although typically more fruity tones than really dry. Kevin, likewise. Glenfiddich is also my favorite Scotch. I'm actually going to wait to get her a new spell until next level. Alright, now we're done here. There's nothing more we can do. It's all set. We can move on. Yeah, Glenfiddich is my favorite Scotch. Probably their 14... No, wait. Their 16 year. It's probably my favorite. Their 14's okay. But their 16 is wonderful. I actually think I prefer their 12, which is their sort of standard off-the-shelf one, to the 14. But the 16's, it's phenomenal. It's a pretty top shelf pricey whiskey. So I have a tad bit left up in the cabinet somewhere. It's kind of a special occasion type thing. As a Commandant says, I like beer. I drink a German beer called Hell. I haven't heard of that one. I do like some beers. I'm more of an ale than a lager guy. I was saying last week, I think, that maybe I haven't given lager enough of a chance. But in general, I like dark beers, especially milk stouts. But I also, all the more so, I really like so milk stouts, and maybe not more so, but also things like Box or Doppelbox or porters or that sort of thing. All right, let's see about this guy. Kevin says, I love beer as well. The darker and heavier, the better. Yeah, typically. Doesn't even have to be like extremely alcoholic as far as and it doesn't have to be doesn't have to necessarily be darker and heavier as well. There are a lot of sort of amber ales that I really like. What was it? There's a Brandywine ale that I can hardly ever find. That is spectacular. It's got a jester on it. I forget what it is. I forget what the brand is. I forget what it is, but things like that are also really good.
You're back. Have you any news?
I've dealt with the problem. The killing should stop now.
Really? Oh, that's wonderful news. I hope the culprits have been brought to justice.
They have, in a sense.
I promised a donation, didn't I? Here, take this. With the Merchants Guild's compliments.
Keep it. Do something for the families of the slain. I don't.
You are very kind, Commander. I shall do as you ask. Maker, smile on you always.
Creators. It's like being pestered by a child.
Listen. That's the guy who was asking about the people you murdered. Oh, hey, a bunch of... Oh, wait, we already accepted these. Level up. Okay. Maybe I'll do that. Or Time Spiral, Game Mastery. Permanent bonus spell power, that might actually be really good. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, what's we got here? Tell you, as far as beers go, I am not a fan.
Just a little.
Oh, these two.
I sometimes paint all humans with the same brush.
As long as it's such a pretty brush, I don't mind.
I'm sure I don't know what that means.
It means your apology is appreciated, my lady.
Well, then, good.
Oh my god, these two. Anyway, got super distracted there. I like that those two are phenomenal. They're great. It's almost worth it to not have Anders in the party, so those two can wander doing their awkward thing. So anyway, as I was saying, the beer I do not care for, and this is not exactly a hot take, I am not a fan of IPAs.
Oh, Christoph, it's good to see you back. Did you catch those
Oh, no.
darkspawn?
I believe it is better to say that they caught him.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
Him who?
It is of no matter, good woman. Thank you for your kindness. It was appreciated.
God, that's awkward. Why are we doing this? This is so awkward. Anyway. Yeah, it's not that I really dislike IPAs, just like as a beverage. I don't hate IPAs. It's just that they are, probably because they're so easy to make comparatively, they have taken over so much of the craft beer community, that you hardly find, it's so much harder to find craft beers that are not IPAs. And some of my favorite beers are small brewery little craft beers, but some of those great breweries so often just have like 40 different IPAs on tap and nothing interesting, and that's what bugs me. is that, you know, when I find a great brewery that does a great milk stout, they do it once every 3 years in the winter, and that's it. You know?
Bran, I don't know this person.
Is there something you want? My companion is not comfortable around strangers.
You're Nita, Keenan's wife?
Yes, I am Nida. Something has happened, hasn't it? Sweetheart, could you give us a moment alone? Is Keenan dead?
Probably. Here, have a ring. No. 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 Oh, God. Yes, he died making the world better for all of us.
He said that, did he? His wedding ring. Thank you for bringing this back to me. Keenan always said he joined the Wardens to give me a better life. Was it really better for me to be alone in a strange country, wondering if we'd ever have a family?
You're cheating on him, aren't you?
He was gone for months at a time, often with no word. Was I supposed to wait forever? He forgets that I'm a living, breathing woman, not just a symbol of something he's fighting for. Love can only take you so far.
Virtue takes you the rest of the way, ideally. Good, if you're not a harlot. Anyway, Kevin says, so I've heard some people believe that the burning of the Reichstag is actually done by Bolsheviks, rather than what is conventionally taught. Any thoughts? Again, as I've said, I don't have the expertise. I will look forward to what Panzer Commandant has to say, because that's an interesting topic. That's a very interesting question. However, despite it being an interesting question with at least some interesting implications, it's the sort of thing that I think, regardless of who caused it and why, and who did it and why, it was the sort of event that was that the party, I'll just say for YouTube reasons, that the party was able to use for their own purposes. Again, regardless of what caused it. And this is why and I will say the Bolsheviks actually doing it would make that all the more interesting, because they would then have been able to use the actions of their enemy, which were intended to undermine them, for their own purposes. And this is why I don't tend to put much stock or pay much mind or care really all that much about conspiracy theories like whether, well, for example, there's the lab leak theory, and then there's take a step further, there's the bioweapon theory of the Koof. Right? I don't know. I can't know given the current evidence, but in any case, it doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of real politics, given that it was exploited by a lot of very specific people in a very specific way. Right? The actual origin of either the virus or origin of responses to it or whatever, that's less relevant than what actually happened as a result. What actually happened as a result is, well, we can see.
Repent and have faith, and you shall know the peace of the Maker's benediction.
But right, so the actual results from historical events like this and what people use them for is, to my mind, a lot more relevant than the actual causes of them, or the specific people behind them, let's say.
I will pray for you, Commander.
We have to talk to here? I don't think so. No. Anything else in here? Another example of this, right, might be the January 6th thing. There's more and more evidence coming out that, kind of as expected, federal agents were highly involved in the planning and execution of the unguided tour, let's say. I say, of course they were. I'm not the least bit surprised by anything like that. Because, you know, the FBI has been largely and closely involved in basically every kind of insurrection in, around, and related to the United States ever. So, of course, why would we be the least bit surprised by any of that? But what's more interesting to me, again, is the results, right? How people reacted to it and responded to it. Where is... This is, I guess, Kristoff's wife's house here, maybe? Again, a large part of the reaction to it is the more interesting part, that it took a lot of the wind out of the right's sails as far as you know, the illegitimacy of the election and such.
Those men in the forest.
What of it?
What you did was wrong. You must make amends.
And to whom should I make these amends? Those humans are dead, if you recall.
You must make amends to humans. It was your condemnation of their race that led to your folly.
I wouldn't expect that to occur anytime soon.
Strange approach. So, it's an interesting approach. It's almost reasonable that their exchange right there is that, I mean, yes, her atrocities were inspired by her collectivist ideas, her ideas of humans as a collective, which were wrong ideas of humans as a collective. Right? But that makes me wonder whether one can make amends for bad collectivist thinking by sort of an inversion. And this is my problem with this concept of justice, this spirit of justice, if you will, right? That he or it seems to be focused primarily on retributory justice, returning what has been given. Which is why he's concerned with vengeance. And this is a sort of faulty view, right? Excuse me. Since Villana did what she did out of a false sense of humanity as a whole, rather than doing the opposite for humanity as a whole, which is not a thing, it would be more reasonable to correct that by correcting her view of humans, by getting a view of this, this human, this the one that I'm looking at, maybe that human who she's starting to like, maybe this random human over here named Colbert, maybe this random human named Refugee. Oh, it's Refugee. It's a bad joke. In any case, right, getting to know humans and getting a more fine-grained, detailed understanding of humans and treating them each appropriately. That would be, I think, a better response than humans bad. No, that's wrong. Humans good. See, it seems that we're just inverting the wrongdoing rather than correcting for it. and this is, I think, a big flaw in Justice as a character and as, I can't say as a virtue, because that manner of justice is hardly considerable as virtue. Most of the great philosophers have not held to that form of justice.
Make a watch over you, as they say.
Bugs out in the forest are as big as your head.
Okay. Oh. Evan says, I think the relevancy of understanding the cause is so that moving forward, there can be the necessary mistrust of the actors. The future interactions can be confounded to a degree. I think that's fair. That's true. And I do think that you're right. It is useful to know what groups are capable of what, so that we know how best to interact with them. That said, I don't think we should really have anything to worry about if we're reasonable in terms of, well, should we trust Bolsheviks? I mean, obviously no. Harem. What? What did I just receive? Turn off without me, I'll not be free, my love. Huh. That's strange. I thought we were... I'm trying to find... Just for Kristoff. Kristoff's wife came to Vigil's Keep in search for her husband. She was understandably upset after Justice explained that Kristoff is dead, and a Fade spirit now inhabits his body. Justice hopes to soothe Aura's pain by visiting her again at her home in the city of Amaranthine. Okay, in the city of Amaranthine. Okay, let's see. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, I don't think that anyone should really have any trouble deciding whether to trust the Bolsheviks and their ilk. I mean, that should be a pretty simple, straightforward no. I think. I mean, it would pile more on, I suppose. Another reason to distrust them. But in this case, I don't know if it's quite necessary. And similarly with the FBI, right? I don't think that we really need to be concerned with whether we should trust the FBI or not. The answer is a very clear no, right? Anyone who does trust the FBI does not know what they're doing. Okay, so it's not the Crown and the Lion, obviously. House isn't in the battlements. Isn't on the battlements anywhere. That's just the chantry. This is not a door. An actual door. This is not an actual door. Okay, listen. Amaranthine is incredibly small by medieval city standards. This is the opposite kind of game design compared to what we were talking about in terms of a good while ago about Denerim. Denerim is designed wonderfully to give an impression of size and scale because you go between individual smallish areas from one to the other with an overarching city map. I really like that from a design standpoint. It gives a proper impression of size. Oh, okay. So the last comment was regarding the conspiracy theories. I like that. That's a good name for those. I can see that, I suppose. But again, as John Stewart said in that great monologue there on show, I guess, Colbert's show, whatever it is. Should we trust the Wuhan Institute of novel coronaviruses, whether they're going to develop novel coronaviruses? Oh, come on. I suppose we have the further question of, I guess, is gain-of-function research safe? Worth pursuing? Hey, maybe that's an open question, I suppose. That's something. Where is house? Somebody look this up for me. This is going to drive me insane. There are only so many structures in Amaranthine. Kevin says it helps to find out who benefited, why, and how much from Koof things, so that they are at least held in contempt and their future efforts are made more difficult. Fair enough. And I think again that I would hold the politicians who responded in certain totalitarian ways far more liable and more responsible than okay, let's assume worst case scenario that the Koof is in fact a specifically manufactured bioweapon developed by the Chinese Communist Party at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, etc. Okay, worst case scenario. Assume that's all true. I still blame American politicians far more for what they did here. Okay? That they capitalized on what in that circumstance was an attack on U.S. citizens by attacking U.S. citizens all the more so. That is I think the biggest takeaway there.
Ah, Christoph, you're back. Will you be keeping your room?
I have no need for it, mortal.
And your belongings? Will you be...
Dispose of them as you wish.
What can I get for you, friend?
You have. Oh, it's just a shop. Okay. What's that? Yeah. Shadow of the Empire. Maybe a Dark Trooper? Anyway. I don't know. I have no idea where to find Aura, Christoph's wife. I'm disappointed in myself for my failure. Like I said, if anybody can think of this, and if anybody can figure it out, let me know in the chat.
Body is fully decayed.
I do not know. Perhaps I will be drawn back to the Fade.
Or remain here, bound to the tiny motes of dust that once were Christoph.
Do you think that's possible?
I know less about this than you. How securely is your spirit bound to this body? Can you leave it?
I could, if I chose to.
Do you want to leave it?
I do not know anymore.
Well, alright. Back to Vigil's Keep, I suppose. And then we'll switch out some party members and go into the Deep Roads for the second half of this evening. Alright.
Why do you believe that atonement is unnecessary?
By the creators, this again!
You murdered humans because you believed they had wronged you, yet they had not.
Humans have wronged my kind plenty.
Yet they were innocent of this.
Don't speak of what you do not understand, Spirit.
Hey, WizKid, welcome back. Good to see you again. Where's Hawkboy? Hawkboy isn't here yet. We're not there yet. We're still on Awakening. as
You
the
were
title
all
says.
curious about my exile.
If I said yes, would that earn me a tongue lashing?
You make me out to be some kind of shrill harpy.
You do sound like a certain Princess Azula. Wizkid says Mage Hawk feels so foreign. First of all, we are going to be playing Mage Hawk. So there we go. Second of all, unless you guys really want me not to. Third of all, if not, then I'd be definitely doing Rogue because I don't like Warrior in 2. In any case, this isn't Dragon Age 2. This is still Dragon Age Origins Awakening. We have to finish this, and then we have Witch Hunt. Which is not nearly as long. Witch Hunt we can probably do in 1 or 2 weeks. So if I had to guess, we have this week and then 3, maybe 4 more. And then we are on to Dragon Age 2 with Hawk, which is main character is Dalen Amell, who is Hawk's cousin. But if you're wondering, it's this guy who's being bonked. This kid really wants me to do Rogue Hawk. Makes so much sense for the story for Hawk to be a mage. It just makes so much more sense for the story for him to be a mage. I mean, I get it, his connection to Bethany throughout and all that, but... This is Valana. She is a Dalish mage, and she murdered a bunch of people, and now she's a Grey Warden. She's mean. I actually like her a lot more than most people do. Kevin said I would take it to another level and say that it wasn't the CCP that did it, at least alone, but in collusion with people on our side. Again, if that's so, then I would think that the people on our side are far more responsible for the destruction that happened on our side. So yeah, we can take the conspiracy a step further. We can ramp this up even more, so if we want. And say yeah, then sure in that case. Wizkid says I like mages, but they get boring. I will say 2 is the only one in which I actually enjoy rogue gameplay. So I'll think about it a little bit, but I'm leaning very strongly toward mage. Now, Inquisition, I'm leaning towards not mage. When we get there, I'm thinking about actually finally doing rogue or warrior. I don't know which yet. I still got to think about it. But I'm actually leaning towards not mage, because I've only ever played Inquisition as a mage, because I have only ever played on mouse and keyboard, and now I have one of these. So I can actually control a melee character in a way that won't be awful. So there's that. Wizkid says, did they plan it? Probably. Was it supposed to go down exactly like this? Oh, absolutely not. Oh, of course not. Even if there was a big old plan going on, and the worst case scenario conspiracy theory is true, things went wildly off the rails at multiple times. I mean, let's be honest. Donald Trump wasn't supposed to win in 2016. In which case, if this was a big long-term plan, if we're going crazy conspiracy, then this was supposed to happen with President Hillary Clinton, and she was supposed to manage it, and do the whole Great Reset thing, or whatever it was going to be called, or whatever. Take your pick. All what you want. Anyway, Wizkid, you are back for a very special night. Because tonight is the probably either the last or the second to last stream with my good old creaky chair. This creaky chair has been with me for a very long time. It has been with other people for an even longer time, given that this thing is eons old. Probably 40 or 50 years old, if I had to guess. And I absolutely love the thing, but it is more or less destroyed beyond repair. The creaking can only get worse. The discomfort in the butt can only get worse. The seat is not exactly stable anymore. It's it served its purpose, and thanks to the generosity of a viewer who will remain nameless unless they wish not to. Again, at some point, I don't want to pressure anybody on that. I will be getting a new chair. I actually ordered a gamer chair type thing, the big racing type things. Ordered one of those. It will be in, and it will be hopefully in by Monday's stream, and hopefully be assembled and hopefully be in use. I might actually, I was saying this at the beginning, I might actually make a, like a little send-off thank you video to my wonderful, wonderful chair. I love it very much. WizKid says, also, if I buy something, I own it, and I can do whatever I want with it. End of discussion. Well, yes, I agree, and that's my argument against copyright, but that's separate. WizKid, I'm not speculating. I'm not answering speculation unless whoever it was chooses to come forward and say something. I don't want to last. Gamer moments incoming. Erica says, "Are we sure we want that?" I mean, I'll be canceled eventually, but I want it to be like right now. It's got to stay away from bridges. My mistake. Yelling is clearly out of character for you.
You... Fine. I suppose your mockery is justified. The humans near where you met me were trying to drive my clan away. For a while, we resisted, and they tried to burn us out. They would have destroyed the entire forest just to keep us from their farms. The others were afraid. Keeper Ilshay said that if I wanted to fight the Shemlin, I would fight them alone.
Erica says I can't do Mage Hawk because I have to use him to get into character for a Curse of Strahd game, in which I have inserted Hawk. See, so yeah, fair enough. WizKid asked if I've ever heard of Right to Repair. You should look into it. It's right up your alley. Yes, I have. Yeah. It's the reason I buy a lot of the products that I do buy, and I avoid a lot of the products that I avoid. There are a lot of, especially, and this is especially true for computers and such. It's the reason I don't really buy laptops anymore. Is because most modern laptops, with rare exceptions, most of which are Acer, are designed to make end user repair basically impossible. And which is exactly what the Right to Repair movement is fighting against. The exception to that would be my tablet, my Asus tablet, which I really like. This is a little 2-in-1 convertible, little floppity keyboard type tablet. Pretty non-serviceable by the end user, but I will say Asus does have good customer service in terms of repairs and such, where because I've had to do this with them before. So I'll deal with it, especially as something that I don't use too terribly much, except to take work with me if I'm going somewhere. Put it on a boat and shoot it with a flaming arrow. Ooh. God, I'm tempted. There's got to be a bajillion environmental regulations I'd be violating by burning anything to do with this chair. That makes it all the more tempting. Oh, man. Hun, can I do that in the backyard? We have a lake. Little retention pond. Really? Ooh. I was just gonna do like a series of like photos to Sarah McLachlan, but I might want to. I could do that. Oh, that'd be fun. That would be an appropriate send off for such an old and venerable and trustworthy chair. WizKid says, my man's Luis Rossman is fighting hard for it. Wanted to spread the word. The name sounds very familiar. I don't follow the movement too closely, but I hear a lot about it whenever I want to fix things that I break. Oh no, not regulations. Whatever shall I do? Right, WizKid? Same. All the more tempting. So Valana, and you left even though it hurt you.
I think Ilshe expected me, wanted me to back down. But I was too proud and too angry. Thus I called Ilshe a coward, and I turned away from the clan.
What about Sarani?
Sarani only followed me in the hopes of changing my mind. A few others wanted what I wanted, and left with us. They're dead now.
Your sister can still be saved, I hope.
Do you really believe that? Sometimes I think you have more hope than I. Come, there is no point in dwelling on the past when there is work to be done.
There is this little gnat fly that has been with me all stream. And I can't get it to leave. I don't actually need that. Look up his channel. He's basically leading the right to repair movement at this point. He's a cool dude, smart, very humble, perfect figurehead. I've heard more about it, the right to repair stuff, from.
May I be of service?
Something enchanted.
Of course.
Everything, like everything enchanted. Really. I've heard more about the right to repair movement from what's his name? Computing Forever is the is his channel. Which is he's pretty great in general. He's now kind of verboten from basically everything. What's that? This already has a chance to stun. In that case, let's give it frost. Let's give him resistance. All right. Whoops.
May I be of service?
Chant.
Of course.
Armor of the Sentinel. Go. Do I have to leave and put him in my party to make runes? Ugh, I probably do.
Yes.
Let's walk outside, make some runes, walk back inside. WizKid says, oof, haven't watched him in a bit. He's what inspired me to watch SG-1. Oh, really? Huh. What? What happened? Your virtual function call. What? Uh-oh. Oh no. Crash. Let's see where we autosaved. Crap, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Good news is we autosave when we move between areas, so bad. Just loud. But yeah, WizKid, the last thing I saw him on, I think. Because I haven't actually caught up with a lot of his recent stuff.
So the big I'm a mage sign around my neck. I like to make it easy for the Templars.
Ah, so that's how it's going to be.
Did we just... Oh no. haven't been auto-saving. I have not been quick-saving. We've done... We just got back and killed a bunch of peasants, apparently.
Yes, Commander?
Right. We're gonna have to rush through a lot of this. I'll just talk over a lot of it. Erica thought it was her computer for a moment. Sorry about that.
Where's that list? Quick, gather these things.
Anyway, I'm gonna talk over a lot of this stuff, so I apologize. I'm gonna have to go rush through a bunch of things. In any case, and let me quickly do this also. That. There we go. Runes, 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 runes. What is this? Oh. Okay. Can't make any.
Admiral, the commander.
She is betraying us because we're mean. Because she was loyal to previous badmen. And she would not accept my apology. So I guess I gotta kill them all. Womp womp. Ah, come on. Where's that crow assassin? There he is. Damn it.
First a riot, now this. Veryl's been hit. It looks good.
Save my life, that's good. Try to kill me, that was terrible. Okay, looks like we're good.
And I'm off.
Just got money from them this time. It's alright, I guess. Alright. Oh no, Kevin's been living a minute and a half in the past. That's strange. And then the stream exploded. My bad. Actually, I don't know if it's my bad, but I apologize anyway. Anyway, like I was saying before the bad thing happened, the last... Oh jeez, here we go. Let's watch this, because this is always fun. I don't know who you're talking about.
You're not gonna pull the moss over my eyes. Ogren, get your hairy ass down here.
Hang on to your beard, woman. Is this a conjugal visit? Looking for Ogren to grease the old wheel?
Don't lay a finger on me. You've done a lot of stupid things on a whim, but joining the Wardens...
Didn't you say it would be... hot?
We were role-playing.
I want nothing to do with this.
Look,
Still.
I didn't sign up on a whim, alright? You kicked me out.
You were just looking for an excuse.
You kept trying to make me into something I'm not. I can't play house like you want me to. I'm only good at one thing, Fells, and it's killing.
You had a good thing in the army. They respected you.
Felsie, I finally got the old conquer on straight, and I don't belong anywhere but here.
Fine, Ogren, if that's what you want. The baby and I will just have to get by without you.
Oh. Aren't you going after her?
I just end up being hit. She's a tiny thing, but packs a surprising wallop. And in this mood, she'd go straight for my danglers. Come on, there's Darkspawn waiting to be killed.
Yes, WizKid, that is a lady dwarf. Specifically, it is Ogren's lady dwarf. Alright, let's equip everybody and then throw things away and then sell things. Alright. Justice. Keep that. Others chosen. Keep all thingy as Lana, Spellminder. That she can have this. Keep what you got. Yes. That for this. What's that? No. Okay. Anders. Keep what he's got, I think. Now we're good. Nathaniel. Bard sword. Nah, keep what he's got. He's fine. Alright, everyone's good. Everyone's equipped. Sell things, put things away. Chant stuff.
May I be of
Talk to
service?
people. Whisket says, wow, what a great dad. I hope that factors into a loyalty mission. Well, he already had a loyalty mission the last time, and it was with the last X. If you recall. Sell. Can I buy stuff? Well, more like sell stuff. That. Keep those, put them away. That. That. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, the last time I saw Computing Forever, I think I might have seen one or two of his more recent stuff on his own channels elsewhere. The last I can think of was when he talked to Blonde from Blonde in the Belly of the Beast, and it's still called Beauty in the Beta, despite it being called. Despite it technically being called The Matt and Blonde Show, where he talked about where he I got some pretty nasty black pill stuff on Koof. But I'll see if I can find the interview and put it in the description if you haven't seen it afterwards. Let's run through this conversation, because I already talked a lot about this.
Nothing like the demon's lust to cross the veil, but the rest of
I don't know anything about it.
You helped me in the faith and have proven yourself.
Portals saying we're friends. That's weird. It is weird for reasons I've talked about.
Might you find me an object made from it?
Raw lyrium's dangerous.
Not to a body that is already dead, surely. I desire only the smallest bit of pure rock. The version of lyrium that mortals dream of in the Fade, it is not the same. Here it sings. The sound is something only a spirit could hear, but it summons...
Let's see what I can do. Cool. Alright, that's a loyalty mission. Nathaniel's up to. He wants to apologize because his dad is a dick, and he's specific reasons.
When I returned from the free market...
Yeah, my dad was a dick. I didn't realize he was a dick. How could you have known? I should have known.
And here you've even proven to be a friend of sorts.
Are you my friend?
Or am I reading that?
Yeah, I'd like to be friends.
Good. You know.
Okay.
Anyway, let's be...
Okay, see ya. Neat. Alright, cool. Let's... enchant.
May I be of service?
Chanting.
Of course.
Okay. Rune. Weaver rune. Frost. Armor of the Sentinel. 2, 3. He barely uses it, so let's wait. Is that...
May I be of service?
See if we can buy some runes.
Certainly.
Especially armor ones. Hmm.
May I be of service?
Let's do a little more enchanting of armor. Of that. Stout, Tempest, Reservoir.
May I be of service?
So we need stuff for Ogren.
Certainly.
Yeah, we do. For Ogren's armor. Stout. What do we have? No runes. Come on. Oh, here. We just have a Tempest. Let's get him an immunity and a stout to go with that.
May I be of service? Of course.
WizKid says, "Oh wow, I thought I was the only one who knew about Blonde. Didn't I introduce you to her, or at least their show? I thought I did. Maybe not. Could be wrong there. Thought so. I love their show in general.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Amaranthine for the stuff that we already did. But let's quick save a little more.
You believe that your ancestors used to be immortal?
I don't believe it. It's true.
How do you know?
Okay, I have to rant. Sorry. Here we go. So, belief is the assertion that something is true. When I say I believe something, it means that I assert something, whatever it is. To say that belief is in contrast with knowledge or in contrast with truth is absurd. Knowledge is a species of belief. Every bit of knowledge is also a belief. That's how that works. Anyway, the whole saying that you believe something as a way of expressing doubt in something is absolutely absurd. I absolutely hate it. Cannot stand that dichotomy. I've talked about this endlessly, particularly in my fact opinion proposition lecture video. Every class when I talk about this, I'm going to put a link in the description. Let's resume.
Why would the elders lie?
Why, indeed.
Ooh, that's interesting. That was an implication he had. Anyway, WizKid says, the show maybe, but I discovered Blonde in my first round of Jordan Peterson-inspired YouTube yellow pilling. Low pilling?
Kristoff. Oh, thank the Maker.
I fear you are mistaken, mortal.
Kristoff? Why are you... What has happened?
You were Kristoff's wife.
I am his wife.
Your husband is gone, and I inhabit this body now. His death will be avenged, I assure you.
Avenged? You've desecrated his body, how dare you?
It was not intentional. There was...
Get away from me!
This body has memories of this woman. Aura is her name. I did not know she would come.
Or woman, it must be a shock to learn like this.
I must rectify this somehow. Intentionally or not, I have done this woman a great disservice.
Where would we even look for her?
My memories suggest her home is in Amaranthine. It will prey on me if we do not seek her out. There must be something that could be done to assuage her pain. Something.
I'll see what I can do. Let's
Darkspawn
try.
call our attention, but should we get the chance to seek her out, I would be grateful.
I do want to try. I wasn't able to find her last time because I don't know where her house was. It was driving me insane. But let's go to Amaranthine anyway. Wizkid says, how does one conflate two unironically? Conflate the two unironically. How can people be so blind? You mean justice and the body he inhabits? Fatality, he dies too much. What did we do last time? Yellow pill. No, like red pill, but for libertarianism.
Andira and Atishan travelers. Do not be startled. We only wish to be about our way.
Marin?
Valana.
Valana was exiled. What's he talking about?
Marin, the others who left with me.
She left. If she's still alive, we'll find her.
You know nothing but hatred. The clan is better off.
It's not true. Valana loves her sister. Andrew will guide your path. Bye. Okay, we already did this. If you're again, I'm speeding through a lot of this. I apologize. Go watch this. Go watch this again. Wizkid says, "Oh God, is that thing that Anders has in Dragon Age 2?" Shh, spoilers, but yes. Also, Anders is in the party. By the way, I will say, in general, I really, really, really dislike what they did with Anders' character and, frankly, with Justice's character in Dragon Age 2. They're both in it, in a way, but I do not like their character development, the way their characters change. Don't like it. Not a fan. Anyway. But there you go. Away that. If you haven't played Awakening, it really matters for Dragon Age 2. Hugely matters for Dragon Age 2. Abandoned warehouse. I didn't check in here. Can't go in there? Alright, never mind.
You're back. Have you
Yeah, I've dealt with the problem. Killing should stop. I have, in a sense. Yeah.
Didn't I?
Keep it for the families. Okay.
All right.
No. Wizkid says, I liked Anders, poor bastard. Yeah, I like Anders much more so in Awakening. He's great in this game, in this expansion. I didn't like him as much in 2. What happened. No. He was not as...
So you don't believe the
He's so much more one note.
When did I say that?
You asked me if I believed that my ancestors were once immortal.
And where in that question was it implied that I believed otherwise?
Then you do believe that the elves were immortal.
I didn't say that either.
You are exasperating.
These two.
This
A tree.
Is a beautiful tree. I did not expect to find one strong and thriving in a Shemlin town.
Nature always finds a way.
Nature does indeed. You may not recognize, but this is a Dal Amithal, the tree of Mythal. Our keeper's staves are cut from its like. Our keeper, Ilshe, had a staff cut for me, for when I would take on her role.
You were never given your staff.
Clearly not. And besides, why do you care? Enough of this. I wish to move on.
Okay. Nice. Anyway, Wizkid says, I didn't like what they did at all, but I couldn't bring myself to, Oh, I sure could. Sure as heck could. Sure will.
All men are...
For health poultices. There was nothing in the chantry last time, so let's move on. Oh no, I definitely could. I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's exactly how what we're gonna do. Get towards the end of Dragon Age 2. Sorry, but when you do that, you ought to know what's gonna happen. Anyway, this is getting to the point of deep confusion for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about. Big sad, I agree completely, but still.
Ah, Christoph, you're back. Will you be keeping your room?
I have no need for it, mortal.
And your belongings? Will you be...
Dispose of them as you wish.
Okay. Mackie. Here's his belongings.
I think I can help with that.
Okay.
Bran, I don't know this person.
Is there something you want? My companion is not comfortable around strangers.
You're Nita, Keenan's wife?
Yes, I am Nita.
Happen, okay, sweetheart, so she's cheating on him.
Is Keenan dead?
Yeah, he died, making the world better for all of us.
He said that, did
Yep, here's his
Keenan
ring.
always said he joined the... Was it really better for me to be alone in a strange country? Wondering if we'd ever have a family?
You're cheating on him, aren't you?
He was gone for months at a time, often with no word. Was I supposed to wait forever? He forgets that I'm a living, breathing woman, not
Don't understand. I have to have random sex with strangers. Anyway, I made fun of her for being a harlot last time, and I'll do it again this time. Anyway, let's proceed. I still haven't found Kristoff's wife here. I gotta look it up at some point. Maybe between... Let's come back to it next time. Evan says, I kind of feel like the color pill thing has become just jargon for the multiplicity of ideologies now. Everything has its own pill. That's true. That is a little bit annoyingly true, I'll admit. Honestly, I kind of stick with... I just kind of keep it to red, blue, white, black. Simple as. I need to stop saying that. I started saying it along... It's one of those things that I started saying along with a meme. And then it just gets out of hand, you know? Wait till next level. It says, it totally is, Kevin, but I just came up with yellow pill. No, I like it for the meme. Okay, anyway. Alright, let's go back to the keep, because we did all we could here.
So you are a thief?
Who, me? Not by profession, my friend.
And yet you were imprisoned for attempted theft.
Of things that belonged to my family and which were taken from us unjustly.
A likely tale.
I mean, technically it's true. You can't deny that. Alright.
Are you at all curious about my exile?
If I said yes, would it earn me a tongue lashing?
You make me out to be some kind of shrill harpy.
My mistake. Yelling is clearly out of character for you. It's not like you're you bear a certain vocal resemblance to a certain Princess Azula. Anyway.
You... Fine. I suppose your mockery is justified. The humans near where you met me were trying to drive my clan away. For a while, we resisted, and they tried to burn us out. The others were afraid.
About this before. You left even though it hurt you.
I called Ilshe a coward. You turned away from the clan.
What about Serani?
Few others wanted what I wanted.
Sister can still be saved. Hope. Erica blames Larry. Yeah, it's not exclusively though. It's just all the Anglos in Saint posting. So many of them.
Yes.
Alright, so to go underground to the deep roads, which is what we're doing now. We got 50 minutes. We can still do this. WizKid says blaming Larry is a good strategy, generally speaking. No, she's not shrill enough, just angry. No, literally the same voice actress as Azula. Ogren, Nathaniel, Anders, or Valana? Anders, Valana. What do you think? The deep roads. Let's go Anders.
Yes.
Go Anders. Don't know if we'll get all the way through this tonight, just because of our massive,
How do the Templars
stupid
always find
delay.
you, Anders?
Incredibly angry. That's how they find me.
There must be some trick to it, surely.
They began recruiting women. The male Templars never stopped to ask for directions.
You're impossible to talk to.
I do my best.
See? I like him. As good says, I stand corrected. Let's start blaming the English for everything wrong again. I mean, it's not like I ever stop. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, no, I already got a specialization. It's cool. Blood control. Absolutely. Just all the way blood magic. Let's give him Constitution, because oh my god, he needs it. Oh no. Motivate. Okay. Oh, right. Hold on. Anyway. Yes, basically bloodbending. Let's go to Knotwood Hills. Oh, speaking of red pill, black pill, white pill, blue pill, pills, what's he yelling about? Is it just the bear scarn? Oh, that's weird. That's disturbing. I'm gonna crush a president. Speaking of, I saw an interview last night with Michael Malice and Sargon of Akkad, which was wonderful, great. It's a great interview because I like both of them quite a bit, and the two of them together are really hilarious. And the red pill thing made me think of Malice, as he talks about that. I think it was one of his books. I don't remember exactly. In any case. One way or the other. What? Anyway, I checked the Discord in the memes channel. Scroll up a little bit. I made a great meme off of in sort of response to one of the ways that Malice brilliantly made fun of our illustrious vice president, and her delightful laugh, if you know the one. Basically compared her to quote, a special needs Harley Quinn. Brilliant. This note reads, "This is what happens to filthy adulterers." Oh, well, why did I kill those guys? That seems justified. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. What's with the, whoa! Oh, textures are being a problem right now. Oh, boy. Boy. Come on, textures.
I fell down a flight of stairs once. They looked much like this particular set of stairs.
Listen, if you were falling downstairs like this, I don't know where you were falling, but...
You're quite the dirty little dwarf, aren't you?
You're quite the dirty little mage.
I do my best. Still, I'm no ale-swilling mountain of belches like you.
And I'm no winking, slack-jawed coward like you.
True, we should form a club.
See, I really like Anders. Like I said, this version, mostly. That looks like something for Ogren. Let's give it to him. It's a drink. It's a drink.
That looks fine.
Yeah, alright. Wizkid says, I keep waiting for her to push the old man down a flight of stairs. Yeah, I don't know if she needs to.
Yes.
They also mentioned something I thought that was also some great dark comedy. That currently, if because you heard Joe Biden's dog just died, the White House family dog just died, that if they were to get a new dog, that no matter what breed it is, according to the actuary tables, it is almost certain to outlive him. Micah's Lucky Deerfoot. We could bring that back to him, huh? It's Micah, the guy who was telling us about this place in Amaranthine. Safe. I don't like that bugging the textures are doing. Trust it. These are very surface level deep roads. No, let's not do that. I was about to force field her and then fireball everyone else, but nah, I'll just fireball everyone else. Now. Let's do some blood magic. And let the blood control big guy. Yay, we made him our friend. Oh god, that's horrifying. I don't think I like this. Oh, it comes back. Oh, okay, that's not actually that great.
Well, that was close. For a moment there, I thought I was really about to join the Legion of the Dead.
WizKid says that's hilarious, but also sad. I agree. Much as I loathe him, it's hard for me to not feel bad about his dog. That's true. And it's hard for me to not feel bad about him, right? I honestly think that that Joe Biden is a terrible case of elder abuse. Like, very clearly, he's not fully aware of everything that's going on, and people are putting him through a lot of this, or encouraging him way beyond his capability to go through a lot of this, the whole presidential run. People who should oh, excuse me, people who should really be caring for him, friends and family and such, are instead just saying, okay, well, he's the one, it's his turn, so put him up on the pedestal, and he's gonna rule, and he's gonna be the puppet, you know? It's absurdly cruel, like I've said before, really. Like, really, at this point, the only people who are older and deader than Joe Biden are most of his voting base. In what? You alright?
I might have cracked a rib, but it's hard to be sure. Everything hurts.
Do you need help?
No, I'm fine. I just need to catch my breath. Anyway, I can't chat for long. I should probably go back, as foolish as that sounds, see if there's anything I can do.
Is there a battle somewhere?
The old fortress of Calharol. There's something going on there. I think the Darkspawn are breeding an army. The Legion went to investigate, but Calharol proved too much for us. It was a massacre, and now I'm the only one left.
How'd you get away?
When I saw my friends cut down, I got scared. I fled. The Darkspawn have changed. They're smart now. They destroyed the Legion. I saw them taking some of the women, and I wasn't about to stick around for that.
Good decision.
There are many things much worse than death, and birthing Darkspawn day and night is probably the worst. But if the Darkspawn are really breeding an army, I can't stay here. I have to do something.
I'm a Grey Warden. I'll go to Calharol.
Ah, that's convenient. The ancestors must have had a hand in this. I'll show you where Calharol is. Safety in numbers, yes?
Alright, come with me.
Excellent. With your help, destroying this nest is no longer impossible. Merely improbable.
Oh, an optimist then.
Let's not waste time. Calharol awaits, and Darkspawn, when left to their own devices, get up to all kinds of nonsense.
Awesome. So, she's a rogue. So we replace Nathaniel. This is actually going to be very difficult, so I almost want to replace Ogren with Justice. Justice is just a better fighter. But Ogren is also better against Darkspawn. Probably still bring him. Wizkid says, just goes to show how fundamentally, axiomatically, the left hates and despises humanity writ large. Old, young, male, female, doesn't matter. If duty calls us to do something noble, they'll find a way to pervert, corrupt, and destroy it. Yeah, very much so. I was also listening to an interview with James Lindsay of the grievance study hoax stuff. His recent interview on the Tom Woods show about critical theory, and talks about a lot of this, that these are the sorts of people who are willing to whose prime motivation is power. Right, their prime motivation is power, and so they are completely oblivious to and are unpersuaded by reason, or even, frankly, emotion. They're only persuaded by power, which is a huge difference than how most of us normal people, as it were, act in the world. So what do you think? Ogren, Justice. Kind of want to bring. We're gonna bring Justice for basically the rest of the game, so let's let Ogren have his fun for a bit. He's gonna die a lot, but it's fine. All right, okay, fine. She's already a Legionnaire Scout. She should be a Bard. Think. And a Shadow? No. Duelist. Maybe Duelist. Maybe not bard. Duelist. And shadow. Yeah, duelist and shadow. Yeah, that'll work. Oh my god. Health, health, health. Poison, poison, poison. Clarity, clarity, clarity. No, wait. Traps, traps, traps. Yeah, there we go. Oh no. Uh-oh, that's not great. She doesn't have a lot of cunning. That's troublesome. Legionnaire Scout, max it out. Dual weapon. Combat movement. Coup de grace. Evasion. Metaform. I don't know. Dueling. Set balance. In defense. Point strike. Heartseeker. Ghost. Points. Or twin strikes. Twin strikes. Purple. Twin strikes. Alright. Kevin says, if they don't respond to either reason or emotion, then what recourse besides force is there? That was Lindsay's point. Lindsay argues in this interview that there is nothing but there's nothing to respond with except for violence. That the only way to respond is by violently preventing them from doing what they ought not to do. To keep them away from any corridors of power, potentially through violent means.
The surface smells.
Right. So again, this is the justification behind, for example, various governors, including our own here in Florida, prohibiting critical theory being taught and employed in public schools. And that's really the whole idea behind this, is that
I don't actually think your jokes are funny, do you?
Could have sworn that fly was buzzing again.
Har! Let me tell you about my life in one word.
Oh no, don't take me back to the tower. I'm far, far too delicate.
I'm not only a dwarf, I'm a moron. Listen to me fart.
Oh no, Big Templar man. What are you going to do with that sword?
Ew.
Don't play with fire unless you want to get burned, son.
Oh my god, no. Oh god. Jesus. Anyway, that was fun. So, but his point is, right, that the only way to stop these people from employing violence, and violence even vicariously through the state, is by forcibly preventing them from doing so.
I don't know much about Kal Haral, except what the others from the Legion told me. It used to be important, a center of learning for the Smithcast. When the fortress was lost, a lot of what the Smiths had learned was lost with it. They've never built anything quite like Kal Haral since.
Alright, if I remember correctly, this one's a long one, so we're not going to finish this tonight, I don't think. Unless I remember wrong, which is possible. That. WizKid says, it's awful that it has to come to this, but it does. When people only respect power, the only recourse is to become more powerful. I really, really hate that, but it's the nature of humanity. Also, Wizkid loves Anders. Indeed, same. I would not say that the only recourse is power, or to become more powerful, but rather it's to stop violence with violence, right? It's self-defense in that sense. It's the same manner of self-defense as the NAP justifies anyway. Non-aggression justifies anyway.
It's me. Be still and try not to talk.
This doesn't look good.
No. I feel my death upon me. And it is a sweet release.
No! I have bandages. I can help.
You must listen. The brood mothers. They're breeding. I saw an army. You must stop them. But beware the children. They are abominations, even among darkspawn.
What? What children? Whose children?
Forgive me.
Ancestors look kindly on you, brother.
Okay.
We have to finish what the Legion started. Those brood mothers need to be destroyed.
Oh god, is this the boss fight with like 3 brood mothers? I think I remember something. That was an awful sound. Hello, shrieks. Okay. Yeah, Wizkid says, yeah, fair. I agree completely, actually. That was a misspeak. Power needs to be spread apart as much as possible to keep them from collecting. Yes, but again, when they seek to consolidate power, they need to be stopped by just means. Right? I don't hold that I really don't think that it's, you can really fairly say that it's just a matter of, we shouldn't fight fire with fire kind of thing, because in some cases that's the only thing that we can fight with, but that doesn't actually need one. I think I was overly paranoid there. That's why I said, that's why I'm very careful to say, to stop them from achieving power by just means. Just means are very, very important there. Oh, there's a creepy crawly. Stop. Yeah, that said, in this case, again, because these are the sorts of people who will, before all anything, seek power, stopping them through violent means, whether that is literal force of arms, or whether that is
fail.
something. Oh, darn it. Or whether that is, the political means, right? The employment of violence through the sort of public manner, let's say. Even if that, whichever is the case, either way is justified specifically. Again, because they are seeking to use the political means. It's just that I think it might be one of those very, very rare cases that the use of the political means, and by that I mean the use of even in some cases, electoral politics, is justified because those we are seeking to stop are using electoral politics. Boots. Biscuit says, right, I'm just saying that even the act of consolidating power should be avoided. Only do so exactly as necessary to prevent them from doing more harm. Yeah, I think that's right. Only do exactly what's necessary to prevent them from doing more harm, but do it efficiently without mercy. I wouldn't say without mercy. It's just understand that once again, these people desire power. They have effectively no other ethical principles, and so don't expect them to fight justly, and anticipate things like false surrender, for example. Be prepared to show mercy, but also be prepared for them to reject it or exploit it. Put it that way. It says basically do what you have to do fearlessly, but don't carry it any steps beyond what is absolutely necessary. That's true too.
The Legion got this far with no trouble. We got careless and complacent and stormed the main entrance up those stairs. It was a disaster. The Darkspawn were waiting. They turned the Tide's old defenses against us.
Traps?
And more. Ancient dwarven ingenuity, used by the very monsters it was intended to kill. We need to learn from the Legion's mistake. Avoid the main door.
Is there another way in?
Most of the old dwarven fortresses had hidden side entrances. I bet this one does too. We just need to find it.
Okay. Let's.
Yet more creatures. Disgusting.
Oh, it's those. Ugh. Don't like that. Don't like that. Do not care for these. Just light everything on fire. Yeah, all these interviews and things that I keep mentioning, they will be in the description after the stream is over.
All right.
That one as well. That I'll also probably put in the Discord. The one with James Lindsay on the Tom Wood show. That I'll also probably put in the philosophy section of the Discord. That's pretty big picture, and I thought it was really good interview. It's like the third or fourth time he's been on Tom's show too, so they're starting to kind of be a regular. Unfortunate that he needs to be, but he sure does, given the sort of tenor of where things are going. Ooh, a hidden switch. You can just hold tab, and hey, look, it says hidden switch. WizKid says, yes, exactly. It's interesting, actually. Psychopathy and narcissism are the only two personality disorders that don't respond at all to treatment, and those are the two of the three parts of the Dark Triad. Kevin says, exile commies from the country and expulsion of them from institutions top to bottom. I mean, this is why Hans Hermann Hoppe had his famous line about physically removing Democrats and communists from any civilized society, because they cannot participate in civilized society. They will not participate in civilized society. All right, let's go. But yeah, oh god, it reminds me of an old talk from what's her name, the factual feminist. Way back from like 2015, 14 or 15 maybe. Her name, her actual name, that's her channel name and such, but I can't remember. I'll find it, and again, another thing that'll go in the description. When she talks a lot about what in the world is that? Stop. That she talks about how the feminist movement, in its current form in particular, is very psychologically unwell, let's say. That at a feminist conference, due to all of the intersectionality type nonsense, that basically everyone, this was according to her sister, a clinical psychologist who attended, basically everyone exhibited pretty severe symptoms of either bipolar personality disorder, extreme narcissism, or significantly more so, apparently, borderline personality disorder. BPD. I guess BPD also stands for bipolar? I don't know. But borderline personality disorder, all the more so, is, I think, really, really disturbingly common with these sorts of people. Interesting. Relax. Maybe I can get down to them. Maybe I can shoot them from up here, or go this way as well. Wait a minute. Which is the right way? I don't want to go the right way first. Oh, found a trap. Oh, I found another trap. Found lots of traps. What the heck? Area transitions. Main hall. What's the other way? Alright, let's quick save. WizKid says, they always subvert. It's in their nature as beings that only understand power. No wonder they fixate on immutable immutable traits so much. It's the easiest way to subjugate people.
This stuff looks like Felsey's first day festival stew. The girl has her strengths, but cooking is not one of them.
It's not nice.
I'm just going to assume that something died in your mouth.
Unlock emissary. Let's crush and imprison it.
War for tax mage.
Really? Another trap? Traps in here are kind of ridiculous. Anyway, though. Yeah, I think, okay, let's keep it. I think that, what was I going to say about that, though? Oh, let me reread your comment, sorry. Sorry, you continue. BPD is the most diagnosed personality disorder out there. Now, it's no wonder the left suffers from it, considering it's characterized by extreme mood shifts and difficulties staying consistent. It does make sense. I'll add that it's... doesn't it coincide with high trait neuroticism?
I've never seen anything like this before. They say the memories of the stone are forever. Is this what they mean?
Huh.
What generation they have told you you were nothing, swept you away like so much dust. Now you are the only thing standing between them and the darkspawn that threaten our empire. Show them that you are not nothing. Show them that you can be warriors. Let the stone tremble with the thunder of your footsteps. Fight!
Cool. Cool. Definitely fortified this place quite well. Okay, we got it. A lot of spooters.
Everyone's gone. They've abandoned the Tyke. We have to follow them. I'm not gonna sit here and get eaten by those monsters.
But this is our home. We can't survive out there.
We won't survive in here.
And I'm off. Yes.
Yeah, the I'll also say the subversion and infiltration thing is pretty extreme as well. Particularly because in light of this is something I shared on my own Facebook page today, I think. And it's talking about I was talking about the subversion not only of
Come on, move those feet.
not only of Tolkien's writings that is almost sure to come in the new Amazon show. J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion stuff. Not only the subversion of his writings, but also what is likely to be what is already seen. We can already see the subversion of oh, that's interesting. The subversion of the Tolkien Society. And its sort of absorption of I don't know. I'll just say absurdity. But, leftism, broadly speaking. The generally speaking, the absolutely wacky leftist ideological scholarship that we really ought not to expect to see in Tolkien scholarship of all places. That is kind of the last place that I would expect to find things like a critical gender theory, for example, analyses of Middle-earth. Because it's so alien to both the material, right? The ideology behind all of this new, the new nonsense is both alien to the actual source material, and so even more so, incredibly alien to the author. Oh, hey, he's back to life. That's horrifying. But okay.
Going.
In any case, it's alien to Tolkien, and it's alien to Tolkien's works, and it's alien to everything that we would have ever seen in the Tolkien Society before about last year. What happened last year? Oh, Christopher Tolkien died. It's like there was this vanguard who was poised and ready to pounce. And then we did nothing. We and genuine Tolkien scholars did nothing.
You people left us for dead. Yeah, we should just take your weapons and kill you instead. Then you will go to your graves, knowing that you murdered the one person who thought you worthy to bear arms for Kal Harol.
I got real quiet. WizKid says, I want to say so, yeah, about BPD and trait neuroticism. But my textbook didn't go much into Big Five in abnormal psycho, unfortunately. They don't understand anything. All they do is twist and destroy it.
Is giving us a chance to prove we're not worthless. You're full of sawduster. Some of us are going.
No. I'm going to do something right for once in my life.
It's a very strange lyrium infused skeleton. Ooh, we get lyrium sands. What's his face needed that? Our smith. Oh, yeah, we broke it. All right. Well, so that's fine, I guess. All right, let's keep going.
Those bastards left us behind. And
And blast! Uh-oh. Oh, come on. This is driving me insane. Frosty time. Okay. The whole staggered arrival of the spiders thing, that was a real pain. Yum ring. Oh, I bet that's for justice. WizKid says, why does that always happen? Why do good men do nothing when vandals storm the gates? Well, because we don't expect it. We don't know that it's coming, and we are mild-mannered scholars, really. Most of us, at least. Basically, the entirety of the Tolkien Society are mild-mannered scholars, right? They're not exactly culture warriors. None of them are prepared to be. Or the people who are prepared to be culture warriors are not the people who are scholars. They're not the people who are... they're not the people who are gonna be... they're not scholars, and also they're not the kind who are dedicated enough to the works in particular to defend the works in particular. You know, I think that's a big part of it. That the big culture warrior types tend to be the ones who are the most dismissive of any particular work of fiction, or any sort of fictional genre, or anything that we might in particular want to defend. And that's because of a lot of reasons, not the least of which because the right doesn't take entertainment seriously, with rare exceptions. Fireball. Evan said, as much as I hate leftism, I have found that in my own environment, especially online, the reaction to it produces some very tiresome things, i.e., you know who are responsible for everything. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Oh, that's not good. Heal Dalen. Let's go back at him, shall we? Yeah, that's actually funny. Ironically, even in a Tolkien group that I'm in, when someone shared something about this, that been a lot of leftist subversion in, there'd been a lot of leftist subversion in Tolkien studies and such. When somebody shared something about this, someone very, very, like, within 3 or 4 comments, went immediately to blame Christopher Tolkien's Jewish daughter-in-law. Like, with the whole triple parentheses and referring to them and everything. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? You do realize that, like, that defies the entire point. But yes, I agree. There's a lot of problems with right-wing reactionaries. Not the least of which that they are reactionaries. Definitely, I mentioned this. I mentioned this before as well. The interview between Michael Malice and Sargon of Akkad. Malice points out, like, the biggest problem with conservatism, with the right, broadly speaking, and why conservatism loses consistently in everything, and it's because they are reactionary. Every fight is fought on the terms of the left, by necessity of how the right works. The whole, like, National Review, for example, the magazine National Review, their slogan is standing athwart history and shouting stop. Okay. That's cool if your entire goal is to accomplish nothing. But you know. Anyway, let's get into here.
Rush the attack! Go!
What?
The lost is mine!
That's weird. Because we're basically out of time. We just saved. It just auto-saved.
Why did you even want to be a Grey Warden? You thought it would make for great drinking stories?
I can't believe you survived the joining.
You got drunk and made a bet, didn't you?
I bet you I could crush your tiny human skull.
I bet I could drink you under the table.
You're on.
All right, let's level up real quick. While I do, I'll do our goodbyes for the night because, like I said, we are basically out of time. Unfortunately. So we'll wrap this up for this time and then continue on next time. What else gives me passives? I want passives. It's a passive, right? Yes, passive. Anyway, like I said, we are out of time, so we'll wrap up here. And I'll put a bunch of things. There's going to be a good long list of related materials in the description tonight, so that should be good, of a very broad range of topics. So hopefully you guys had a good time. Whiskit says they're stupid and incredibly unhelpful. Yeah, that's an issue as well. That's related. In any case, like I said, we're about out of time. Everybody say a fond farewell to my wonderful chair. Like I said, I at least want to do a little video dedication to it, or at least post some pictures of it, or something like that. I love this stupid thing, but it will be gone. It will be gone very soon. It has served its wonderful purpose, and it has served very well for way longer than any piece of furniture really should in the modern day. And it's about time I get a chair from the current century. In any case, like I said, we should be back on Monday to finally get back near Automata, and then back on Thursday we're picking up right here to finish up this quest, and possibly next week even finish Awakening. I don't know about that, no guarantees. I'm probably going to be doing, there's a few side quests we need to do, but we'll see. We may though wind up finishing Awakening next week. If not, then it'll definitely be the following week. So keep that in mind, and hopefully I will see all of you on Monday, and if not, I will hopefully see all of you on Thursday, and then going forward. Thank you all again for joining me. Good night, everyone.